Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today we're going to review the first Purge. If you've been a fan of the original Purge movies, there's been like 3 other Purge movies before this one. This is like the prequel, so that's why they call it the first Purge. And starring new actress Lex Scott Davis, new actor Wyland Noel. So they're like the 2 main characters of this first Purge movie. Then you have Lauren Valles. She has played as like cops in different shows you might have seen her in. Steve Harris, he played as in a few movies. You have Marissa Tomei. She's one of her films that most people remember by is My Cousin Vinny, where she played as Joe Pesci's wife. She recently, you've seen her in as the aunt. She played Aunt May in Spider-Man Homecoming series. On this movie, she plays as a scientist. Then you have another young actor, Jovan Wade. He plays as the brother to Lex Scott Davis' character. So let's dive into it. So this first Purge was definitely a decent film. I've seen all the Purges. This one is a decent film. Most prequels suck, but this is decent, and it's deep because it has you thinking, and all the Purges has you thinking. For this to come out, has this actually struck an ideal in the powers that be to see if this is even possible? So basically what this movie is demonstrating how the Purge came about, and basically it struck up as an ideal, and they pretty much threw it out there to see what happened, and people didn't really reject it. And a new presidency was coming up, and the new presidency that was coming up, they ended up winning, and the new presidency pushed for this experiment to take place. Now the experiment was basically saying we can lower crime in America if we give one day free that people could kill and not be held responsible for. So they geographically determined a specific area after they won the new presidency. They geographically portioned a determined area, which ended up being Staten Island, where they were going to do this experiment at. And how they did it is because when you do it in low populated areas, what happens in not low populated areas, areas who have low income, what do those type areas need? They need money. So when you throw a carrot in front of them saying, hey, if you participate or if you stay during this time, we're going to give you $5,000 if you stay. People need that money. A lot of people ain't working. And they got bills to pay. They got things they trying to do. So people will take that, and you get additional money if you actually participate. So you got a group of people who's fighting against that, like, don't give in. Don't give in. So there's a big time drug dealer who runs the neighborhood, and he kind of got some morals about himself, even though he's a drug dealer serving to his own people. But he do got some morals about himself where he looking at it as it's not right. Now his ex-girlfriend, she doesn't like his lifestyle, so she's fighting on the side of telling the people that they need to not give in and not participate in this experiment. Now, overall, this experiment is their government's way of depopulation. And if you are smart enough or inquisitive enough to watch different videos, that's a real thing, and has been happening from over time to time or whatever. So this is a way in the movie, their government, to depopulize. Let's test it out to see what they do. So this is deep because low income geographical areas are overpopulated, and some will believe that the government don't want to take care of these overpopulated people. So instead of finding ways to help them, and they could be saying, well, we have tried to help these people, but these people don't want help, they don't want to do anything. That's what some would say or whatever. So this is where we left to do. We got to depopulize this way, which is sick. So, nevertheless, further on with the movie, you got some people who left, some people who didn't. Some people took to the church as a safe haven to just stay there and wait it out. Some people stayed in their houses. Some people were ignorant, elected to run a party. And so what happened is they were getting mentally insane people who pretty much saying they will sign up. And so if you sign up, they give you contacts to where you can be tracked on your whereabouts and who you killed and stuff like that. And it films it. So in a situation like this, people gonna take their chances, and anybody that they may have some problems with, they're gonna try to get them out of there. So what the Lex Scott Davis, her character, her little brother, he went out and tried to hustle because they're living in impoverished circumstances. They live in a high rise, and it's the projects, and they got leaks in their home and roaches, and he want a better living. So he elects his older sisters, is trying to, want him to do better and live a different way, but he can't see it. If anything, it's too long. It's too long of a long way to get to that status. So in his mind, he needs something right now. So he hits the block. And in the process of hitting the block, there's a psychopath that's roaming the street who took and know that he's a young hustler and pretty much sliced him with a blade. And of course that's what triggers him to want to purge, because his thing was to purge, to get vengeance on that guy. but his sister didn't know. So the sister's with the church people and thinking he's safe. But meanwhile, he's out. Once the purge starts, he's on his way to join the purge. So the purge starts off, and the psychopath that I thought about, that I mentioned, of course, he was the first kill. He found somebody that took it. This is their way of trying to get some money, trying to get an ATM machine, break in an ATM machine, and boom, he killed him. So the people who's monitoring this whole situation, they're not seeing enough killing. People pretty much is looting, doing damages, but they not really trying to kill people. They even had a party, and people were partying. The psychopath came through that party and he went to work, so broke all that up. Of course, the little brother seen him. He was too frightened to kill him, so the dude pretty much just smacked the gun out of his hand. And the powers that be, they felt this needed to work. In order for this to work, if society seen that this wasn't a success and people really weren't purged or nothing like that, then they look at it like, we don't need to have this worldwide. So they had a backup plan, and their backup plan was basically they hired mercenaries from all over the world to come in, dress up, put masks on and dress up as different type of groups and go out and kill the people, innocent people, who are people that wasn't purging, just straight out mass murder. Now these is, if you know anything about mercenaries, is known to be ex-military, running in groups, so they're well organized and they got the gunpowder to do it. So they're ripping through the city, killing innocent people in groups that the people who stayed may not participate, but they stayed. They're just getting killed, slaughtered. Meanwhile, the big time drug dealer, somebody put a hit on him. Got to be careful of women. So they got two women that he was getting ready, fornicate with or whatever, and they tried to kill him. But it was a setup for somebody that wanted his spot. So he ended up beating both of the girls up and getting through that. And then he ran up on the dude that tried to set him up. And then, of course, he killed him. Meanwhile, on his way back, he ran into one of the groups of the mercenaries. And the groups pretty much attacked him and his group, and he got loose, and of course he handled his business. He killed him. Then he figured out, he called his crew where his crew was at, told his crew come help him. His crew came and they got to see the tattoos and everything, and see that they were mercenary type guys. And they had a walkie-talkie that they were using to communicate with the other people. So they pretty much was like, hey, what's going on? We got to protect the community because they don't have no protection here. So pretty much at that point, he said, we're not going to go sit. We're going to go help and protect the community. So they went back to their warehouse. Of course, they got all type of weaponry. They got all types of guns, and so now they setting out to go help the community and fight back. And the last stand pretty much was the high-rise projects where the girl was, and a group of mercenary guys went there in the KKK uniforms and all that type stuff. And the guy and his crew showed up, and they had some drones up in the sky that seen that they were people that was armed, and the drones pretty much shot him, killed him. So killed all his crew except like 2 people. And so he was left by himself, but he had all the whimpering. He let the girl know that they was coming to storm the high rise, and they were gonna go floor to floor, exterminate everybody in the high rise. And so she lived on the 14th floor. He pretty much told her, I'm coming, but you're gonna have to stay safe. So of course it's him versus all these mercenary whatever, and he's going floor to floor. He's trying to hit him with the element of surprise. So they had him doing some good action filming there, but of course it's Hollywood, it's a movie, so it's pretty much like him taking out, like on some Rambo Commandos, him taking out a whole militia of people, and you know, it pretty much came down to that or whatever. He, you know, he made his way and just start taking them out, and then the last stand is pretty much the psychopath. He came back because he wanted the Lex Scott Davis. He wanted her character, so he showed up. He killed like 2-3 people. He was coming to get her, but he ran into the mercenaries. They ended up killing him, and then they let off C4 and blew the people up. And so this is the first Purge, and pretty much from here, that's the first Purge. And this guy right here, that's in this, you see him, you don't really see him in the very first Purge that came out years ago. You see him in the second Purge. And you see him in the second and the third Purge, but you just never knew, like, his story, where did he come from? Because the whole time he goes underground and the government be looking for him, but he goes underground and pretty much pushing to the people going against whatever. So you get to see this where that guy originated from. So that was good to see that where that guy came from. You finally get to see where he came from. So overall, was it a good film? There are 2 post-credit scenes, and to the people that believe in the analogy of stay woke, by all means, definitely stay woke. Keep your antennas up. Pay attention. It's messages in these movies. Good movie. My 4-star rating system, 3.5 out of 4. 3.5 out of 4. I believed in the message that it came from. Till next time, subscribe and like, share the video. Stay tuned.